This is a story about life-changing events. You never really know about a person's character till it's tested, really tested. You may not really know about your own till you're put to the test in a life-changing event. Of course, we've all had one, right? To one degree or another. Well, this is the story of a big one and how one person handled it. This is the story of my friend Mike Fick. I met up with Mike recently. We sat outside and talked. And I think you'll find the way he's handled his life extraordinary and inspiring. I went to school with Mike from middle school, junior high school on. Here we are in the class photo. He was one of the cool guys. Mike played in a rock band, the Malibus, and was quite an athlete. He loved football and played football from junior high on through high school.
Oh, well, playing football was everything that I wanted to do when I got in high school. I thought my big goal was to go play at the University of Texas. The only problem, I was so small that nobody wanted a 5'10", 165-pound guy. I actually really wish I did work out and was planning to go to college at Sam Houston and play down there. And I went and talked to the coaches, and the guy said, "Look, this is in the spring," and he says, "You put on 15 pounds, then we can probably talk." So I went down that summer and I worked out and I put on 15 pounds. I got to like 180 pounds. And I came back and I talked to him. He said, "Oh, here's the schedule now. Yeah, you'll have 2-a-days here and here and there, and you'll start classes. We'll still have 2-a-days." And I was like, I'm not going to have a life, man. So I decided I better not go that route. And then I got in the computer business. And that was where I really settled for the last 15 to 18 years. I did get married in '78, 2 sons. Right.
And up until that point, you'd been active, played golf?
Yeah, I played golf 2 days a week, practiced probably 3 days a week. And I had my life was so good, John. Everything was so good in my life. My business was good, and my wife and I, we'd been traveling, and we had I'd probably played over 100 different golf courses around the U.S. I was about ready to break 80, and never got there.
Then the unthinkable happened.
The faithful Thanksgiving Day massacre, as they call it. Every year I did Christmas decoration. I put lights up every angle, gutters, everywhere. It was like a light show, And Angie saw me outside the window and saw the ladder up here about too much of an angle. She says, "Oh my God, something's going to happen." She ran upstairs to get my son, and by the time she came back, I was on the ground. And what happened is when I got off that ladder, because it was so perpendicular, it fell. And when it fell, I jumped. And when I jumped, John, I hit the ground so perfectly, both my 7 and 8 vertebrae just exploded. And broke my ribs. I said, "You're married to a paraplegic, honey." He says, "No way." And yeah. And after that, John, I kind of like passed out. The ambulance guys came and got me, and I don't remember anything until I got to the hospital. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Well, what I was planning on doing was to jump and roll like a paratrooper. Only problem when I hit so evenly that it broke my back and knocked me out. When the towers fell, that's what it looked like. It was just like falling completely. That's when they compressed.
You get past Christmas of '05.
Yep.
What's going through your mind?
The first thing that went through my mind, John, was I had pretty much, done everything. I never really depended on anybody to do anything for me. I didn't want my wife to have to do a lot of stuff. I didn't, worked in the yard all the time. And my wife, we lived kind of independent lives. She did her stuff and I did my stuff. Now, John, I knew I could do hardly anything, and the stuff I used to do. I mean, you don't realize how much you lose until you don't have it. And simple thing is walking down the street holding your wife's hand. It's people don't think about stuff like that. I didn't think about it until that happened. But I'll say this: if it hadn't been for my wife, it'd have been. I don't know if I'd have made it, John. I mean, she was like the golden child to the whole thing. It's really, she was with me, she stayed with me for almost every night in the hospital. Yep. 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 She's an amazing woman, though.
Tell me about her.
Oh, she's about the funniest person in the world. She, she's the type of guy that lights up a whole room as soon as she gets there and entertains everybody because she's one of those people that can laugh at herself and everybody else laughs with her because she's so funny. Anyway, she's that type of woman. I really knew the first day I saw her, I was in love with her. Well, not the first day, but the week after.
That coming year, you had to adjust to your new lifestyle,
Oh, yeah.
the new normal for you. Tell me some of what you went through there initially.
The first thing I really wanted to do was to drive. And I started driving right at about 4 months after my surgery. And I wanted to go back to work, but I just couldn't. I was so weak, John. I was 190 pounds when I went in. I was 162 when I came out. So
Okay, so here you are. You were athletic in high school. You're an active guy. You're a golfer. You've got a beautiful wife. You've got 2 children. You got a great job. You're traveling all over. You got everything going your way. And in the blink of an eye, it all changes with that one fall. A lot of people can't imagine being there, right?
Right.
Till you're there. So, from your perspective, what advice would you give someone?
Really, if you don't appreciate every day you live and be responsive to people around you and the things that are, be aware of what's around you. And because things change so quickly and can change on you so fast, you really need to just, touch your wife, love your wife, touch your kids, be with your kids, and do all the things you can do. But no, as far as telling people what to do, I don't know. I don't know what to tell people. Things just happen, John.
Yeah.
You know, to have an accident, you really can't, I don't think I can give anybody any advice about what to do. I mean, you have to just live your life. I've always done so many things. I was a water skier. I flew airplanes, and snow skied. I've tried to do everything I can do in life to be active. I mean, things happen to people. That they don't. I don't think they happen for a reason. I just think that things just happen.
How did you handle it mentally?
Well, I tell you, like I said, if it hadn't been for my wife, I don't think I would have handled it mentally at all. Because when I first found out, I felt like, well, God's been preparing me this forever. And then I thought differently. After I got in rehab, I saw how hard it was going to come back. And with my wife there every day, she came in and she was laughing with me. She made things kind of different. I'm serious. She just kind of turned everything into a more agreeable area. And I just started looking forward to getting up and going to rehab and changing my life because I was determined I was going to come back and do this. And I never really wanted to accept the fact that I'm, in a wheelchair and can't do things that other people do. That's why I started driving as soon as I could and tried to get back to work. I got back to work 6 months after my accident.
And then you bike on a regular basis.
Oh yeah, I have a hand cycle. I do 15 miles every other day and get my exercise.
Okay, some people, they meet someone who's had a tragic situation, wind up in a wheelchair, and they'll make the comment, that person seems so happy. How could that be?
Well, you don't have another choice, You can be negative without being in a wheelchair. And it's all perspective, John. An attitude. I mean, it's like, attitude's kind of like a flat tire, If you don't change it, you can't go anywhere. But that's okay. My life has been so good, John, for all the stuff I've done through life, and just stuff happens, You just deal with it. All the stuff you think you can't handle, you can handle. People can handle a lot more than they think they can.